Greetings. I am Dr. Robin Saleh, your very own licensed board certified functional healthcare practitioner and nutrition professional. I have 12 years of clinical experience in both areas of acute and chronic inflammation. Allow me to be a sense of motivation and encouragement to you along your journey to health and wellness, as we do not plan to treat, cure, or prevent any type of degenerative disease, illness, or ailment. Please consult with your healthcare practitioner before integrating these educational tools and dietary tips. All aboard the yellow school bus. I am so excited to be able to share my 12 years of clinical science-based information. Today, we're going to talk about diet. Most people that come into my practice struggle with the diet, struggle with the nutrition. So today's question is, what is the most optimal diet? Let me teach you how to properly assess this. The most optimal diet depends on varying factors. And these varying factors are your ancestry, the state of your genetic, as well as your blood type. If you have never undergone blood work where you know what your blood type is, or you never had genetic testing where you can see how foods are biologically reacting, you will not know what exactly diet plan is best for you. Now, many of you may simply go to Dr. Google and put yourself on the diet plan, whereas another part of my email subscription list population, you may have got a script or a diagnosis where your doctor or your practitioner has recommended a different diet or a different lifestyle. But please understand, when you're dealing with diet, this is a healthcare matter, and I'm very concerned with people put themselves on the diet. And food is medicine, so we want to look at the food as from that perspective, and that scientific measure, as food is medicine. Okay, so when we look at our ancestry, we look at our genes, now we're able to get a blueprint of how we should be eating. If we look at the food pyramid back in the 90s, it was the triangle, and that triangle contained adequate amount of grain, adequate amount of milk, adequate amount of fruits and vegetables. They used to recommend 8 glasses of milk and 2 to 3 servings of whole grain, preferably wheat. And what we found over the course of these years is how wheat consumption and dairy consumption has actually put a lot of the patients on medication, because it's too stimulating. The carbohydrates are too high. Eating 1 slice of wheat bread is like eating 2 Snicker bars, being that the glycemic index of 1 slice of wheat bread is 60. So you top that off with 8 glasses of undigestible milk. Did you hear that? Undigestible milk. And you're going to create health issues. Human beings should not be consuming other mammal milk other than human breast milk. There is not a nutritional need for any type of other mammal milk. The reason why we drink our mother's breast milk as infants to get the antibodies we need to build a healthy immune system and a healthy body. What humans have done over time, we've trained our bodies and our systems to eat other mammal milk, and that is conventional dairy. Now, in a perfect world, in a perfect situation where you all just have to have your dairy, we suggest the organic grass-fed, grass-finished from A2 cow milk. Now, if you find that to be less problematic, then go for it. I know many of you, despite my scientific information, are still going to live the lifestyle that you choose and which you have every right to. So be mindful that organic grass-fed A2 milk is more easily digestible. Kerrygold butters, things like that, as well as plant-based milks, as long as you're not allergic to nuts and you're lectin sensitive. And we'll talk about lectins on another day. So, is vegan diet healthy? Okay, is vegetarian diet healthy? Is the paleo diet healthy? Is keto diet healthy? These diets are not healthy long term. Okay, these diets are healthy short term to help reset the system, to help clean the system out. I call these like detoxification diets. And then when we get to a space of healing, then that is when we go back to normal eating. The body needs adequate amounts of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. When we remove large food groups, we undergo nutritional deficiency. And for this reason, many of my vegan and vegetarians now have alopecia, miscarriages, and low iron because they choose not to eat red meat. Now, the truth in consuming red meat is that all red meat is not bad. Actually, type O's and some in the B group do relatively well. Blood type B and O do relatively well eating red meat. It is the grass-fed, grass-finished, as I do not condone conventional beef. The reason why you say, oh, that red meat is not digesting, that is because you do not have enough proteolytic enzymes to help break that red meat down. If you bite your finger off and chew it, your stomach acid and your pH should be strong enough to ravish that finger. So slow, impaired digestion is the reason why many of you cannot digest red meat. That does not mean go to the extreme and omit meat altogether. You may just have to abstain short term to help repair some of the damage. Now, I also want to reiterate, many people on the vegan and vegetarian diets have a thiamine deficiency, and some of you have to go get a B12 injection in addition to your other mineral and vitamin therapies. So, if we look at the diets that's trending, keto, Whole30, paleo, these are reverse diets of the pyramid that we saw in the 90s. And these are diets that are void of grain. In the 90s, they promote grain. In the 2000s, they're taking the grain out because what they found is due to genetic alteration and synthetic modification, it has actually caused disease. For this reason, this is why we fortify much of the grain, is because there was scientific study done years ago where they were saying that the wheat actually was causing issues, and this is why we see fortified wheat. It does not matter if you eat organic wheat or sprouted wheat. If you're eating wheat, you're going to, if you don't already have a health issue, you're going to get one. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Okay. Keto diet. What people don't realize is it is not healthy to be on a keto diet for the rest of your life. There is no scientific evidence or research that any mammal has been on the keto diet forever. That is not sustainable and it's not reachable. However, I see great results when I put my clients on keto short term. Now I'm counseling my client on how to reintroduce these foods and build that system back up. What happens when we go on keto, we actually break the body down because we're removing nutrients. So as we remove these nutrients, we must put them back in. And again, the human body needs 90 essential nutrients for these type of biological functions to fire. Now, when we talk about vegetarian diets, some people like to consume dairy and cheeses on a vegetarian diet. And I tell people this, if you can still consuming cheeses and things like that, that is really not true vegetarianism. Now, if we look at a lot of the Ethiopians, 40 to 50% of their population are vegan and vegetarian. and they eat things like teff, they eat things like injera, because their ancestry and their genetic over there, and the foods are more mineral dense and mineral laden, and they're able to tolerate that type of lifestyle. Over here in America, we have different agricultural practices, and for this reason, this is why we see a lot of the vegetarian diets really not going well. So, no pun intended, if you are vegan or vegetarian, it's not that I'm against it. It's just that many of you are not doing it properly. Again, it is healthy short term, not long term. You say, well, that vegan is thick thin, she's slim, she got a shape, she got an hourglass. That does not mean she's healthy. We want to look at the internal organ health to assess one's health. Okay. Most vegan and vegetarians eat excessive amounts of soy, excessive amounts of gluten and grain. When you do this, you will be an unhealthy vegan and vegetarian. The majority of people that I meet who are vegan and vegetarian are African Americans. And these African Americans who follow Dr. Sebi and other healthcare professionals, like myself, they put themselves on the diet when they was not feeling well because that's a trend. And I just want to reiterate, that is something that you simply do not want to do. Again, vegan, vegetarian, keto, paleo, these are short-term diets to help clean the system. You will see improvements in your health, but you will not be optimal. Now let me just share this. Once your body heals, okay, it is okay to eat at certain select restaurants where you know the chef has created that meal with integrity, because all restaurants and fast food spots are not unhealthy. We have more restaurants available than ever since the pandemic. We have more entrepreneurs who are health conscious, who are opening up restaurants and food places with integrity. So we can no longer use the excuse that fast food is unhealthy. No, our choices are unhealthy. So you want to eat out from time to time, and let me tell you why. You want to get some other people food in your system. You want to get some bad stuff in your system from time to time, because your body needs to develop strength. Your body needs to learn how to fight. If your body is too clean all the time, you're going to have a weakened immune system. Those of you who like to indulge in raw diets, that too is unhealthy. The human body needs raw foods and cooked foods. If you stay on raw foods for too long, you'll be unhealthy. For those of you that like to eat out every day, fast food all day, all night, that too is unhealthy. So we have to find a middle ground. So the middle ground is cooking your meals at home, eating out, avoiding gluten, of course, because if you eat that gluten and you go to a fast food restaurant, you're going to damage your organs. So find a middle ground. Eat around this madness. Live a healthy, happy life. Sit down with friends and family. Have you a glass of wine from time to time. Have you a glass of champagne. And enjoy the moment. I hope this cleared up a lot of your confusion as to what is the most optimal diet. The most optimal diet is a diet that works for you, and a diet that does not cause diseases, and a diet that's sustainable and satiating. So in my 12 years, I've created my diet plan. It's called Free Cuisine, where it contains grain, it contains protein, it contains carbs, it contains fat, but it does not contain excessive amount of gluten. So inherently you want to do a low gluten diet. Okay, low gluten to no gluten. Gluten has not been linked to gluten removal, has not been linked to poor health. For those of you who are afraid to go on those type of diets, they are perfectly safe. They're perfectly healthy. But when you remove the gluten, you're building a body from scratch. Protein, carbs, and fat. And the reason why we eat grain is for healthy weight gain. You notice most people that take out the grain, they're a little bit more thinner. And then when we put the corn and we put the rice and then we put some beans back in there, we start to fill out more. So there's a reason why the fruit groups are here. It's just that we must have the right education, knowing how to assess diet. Now, many of you are watching this are inherently on the wrong diet, eating things like protein shakes, bland salads, depriving yourself, and not putting seasoning on your food. That's depressing in itself. So we have to find a happy balance. What I do is for 6 months, I tell my clients, eat at home. Okay, but when you get tired of eating at home, you're going to want to eat out. You want to go live a normal life. You want to go to a party. You want to go to a wedding. And so you want to learn how to make good food choices. But by that time, your body would have healed so that you can eat out. And so that you won't be allergic for every little food you eat. Because just removing things as well is not good. Adding too much food as well as removing too many is not good. So there you have it. Visit me today at www.drrobinsallee.com. That is spelled DRROBINSALLEE.com. I am located in the heart of the Fox Valley Mall area. That is 4048 Fox Valley Center Drive. I'm inside of the Core Value Pilates studio. Thank you, and you have a great day.